Welcome back for part two of our conversation with Chris Olimpo. In this segment, we shift our focus to what Chris has been working on lately, exploring his most recent projects and an exciting new venture he's currently developing. So, you also worked at Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
So, you went from
Illustration and design, art school, to Navy simulations for the American military.
how did you end up working for the US Navy?
Um, they had this like entry level technical artist job here, where basically you're basically drawing weapons broken apart and like circuit boards, and there's like boring stuff and there's cool stuff, but it's essentially all the equipment on a Canadian Navy and American Navy ship. You are recreating it for a simulation where soldiers are going to train in. So in a weird way, it was already simulation. And I did that job. I got the job because they sent, like a job posting at our school program, and I got it like right away. Like on the day I graduated, it was funny because my 3D modeling teacher on the day I graduated told me I was in the top 10 worst students he'd ever had in his career at Dawson.
Top 10
Top
worst?
10 worst. And he wasn't wrong because I fumbled on his project. He was like, his project was the one that I screwed up. But it didn't hit me. It didn't hurt me so much because other teachers had told me your artwork are in the archives of the school. They're still there. So, but what's funny is the same day I get the phone call from Lockheed saying, "Hey, you're hired. And by the way, we noticed on your CV it said you learned 3D modeling, so we're gonna have you do some 3D modeling too." And I'm like, "Oh,
Did you lie on your CV?
yes and no." Like, I just wrote what I was learning in school. Like, technically, I'm learning this thing. When I wrote it on my CV, I thought I was decent. I thought by the end of the program, I would have learned something.
So you have quite you have quite the experience under your belt. What are you doing now?
The main thing I've been working on is taking care of my son, like my home, myself, and reflecting on where my career is going to go next. Um, I'm still working on Arcadia. I have a lot of investors, a lot of my investors that weren't sure whether I was going to like drop it or keep going. Um, but yeah, I'm not giving up on it because I still have a vision for how it can work. And frankly, to get at the heart of what I'm working on now, what I want to work on now is sort of the antidote to everything Meta has built in the world. So I think social media started as a cool thing and now it's a terrible thing. I think it polarizes us and divides us. Like, advertising and capitalism impacted the way these products evolved, and these products influence the way we are interacting as a society. I think it's sad to see. So I'm working on a platform to help uh, improve that, called Vox Vote, um, which essentially is a place to talk about politics with verified users, so that there's no bots, there's no bullshit, there's no fake news. If there is fake news or if there is hate speech, everyone is verified. So it's sort of like you'll get called out.
What is the one thing that you think politics is missing right now?
Um, Honesty, authenticity,
Mm.
respect.
Do you think people go into politics thinking they will be the next honest politician?
I think a lot of the dynamics we see in politics today are like, none of them are new. Like, you can read about them in history books. They happen over and over again. They look new because we're in a new environment, but the human nature doesn't change. Where I do think power has a way of corrupting people, and power is seen in many forms. People think of power as in like, I have the authority to make decisions, but power can come in the form of intelligence, beauty, money. It could be a lot of things. And the second you have access to power, it amplifies everything about you. So it amplifies the good and the bad. So you might believe I'm a righteous, like, good person, and then on your road to climbing the political ladder, you see so much negative stuff that you're like, oh well, what's the point? Um, So I do think some people go in with great intentions and get corrupted. Um, and I mean that in a like theoretical like sense, not a rah-rah corruption way. But yeah, I think it's a bunch of people who think they're doing the right thing but disagree, lack the experience and the empathy required to actually move a nation in the right direction. And we've seen the previous administration under Projet pretty much follow like the World Economic Forum rule book to the T while denying it. And it's been one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So I'm kind of happy to see like a new party in Montreal, but we'll see how it goes. Like,
If Montreal had a healthier political culture, what would that actually look like?
it would look like the residents of the city have a voice that means something, which means that when the residents speak up about issues or about ideas or solutions or things that can make their neighborhoods and their communities better, politicians should listen to them as much or more than they should listen to foreign investors who don't live here and want us to fit a certain mold that doesn't apply to our realities in our city here.
It's great you say that because I saw that video in which you did speak up at one of the
Borough
town
Council.
hall. Okay,
Yeah.
so um, yeah, and I thought it was interesting that you were being cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into very briefly a bit about how you've overcome or you're overcoming the challenges, the mental health issues, the family, personal life. How are you overcoming that today? Is there something that is helping you move forward?
Honestly, it's cheesy, but it's the right answer, and it's like it's my faith in a higher power and my wife.
That's so beautiful.
That's pretty much it.
Um, when you say you want to bring back community, what does that mean to you?
Having people that you cherish at a walking distance from your home, it means like people knowing each other's names and smiling when they see each other and helping each other out, as opposed to people being really stressed and not making eye contact and hardly saying hello and hoping the machine will convince you to give them a tip even though they don't even talk to you. You know, it's spending more time in person and less time on social media. It's spending more time playing games outside instead of playing video games in separate homes.
Which is ironic coming from someone who created a VR.
So the reason why I'm building Arcadia is to bend the technology towards what I think is better for society. What I mean by that is I want to make games that make parents tell their kids, why don't you go outside and play Arcadia already? Because my game is designed to have people come together at a basketball court and play this game together in person,
Amazing.
not put on a VR headset at home and you put on a VR headset at home and we're lonely, losers, not actually building a real human connection. I think the world is being run by, I'm not saying they're bad people, but introverted people that are broken, whether it be Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, people who have suffered a lot of trauma, but are hyper intelligent and desperately want to fit into the world. So they built these things that are highly addictive and highly necessary for society. But Mark Zuckerberg himself in interviews will say, I have no idea how to build a connection with someone. I'm an introvert. I'm a this. Yet he's building the biggest connected network in the world
Mm.
without a care for how simple things like having a like button and no dislike button can fry a whole generation's brains into not understanding how to deal with negative criticism
And their self-worth.
and their self-worth. And you would know that better than I do in terms of like how it affects people, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't grow up in a world like that. We grew up in a tech optimist era where every year, Steve Jobs is like, here's the iPod. Here's the iPod Nano, like what's this pocket for? And so cool. And like, here's the next Nintendo. Here's the next PlayStation. It's like, technology is amazing. Like it's gonna do all these awesome things. Now we live in the generation where it's like, here's the next robot. It might kill you, maybe. But I think there's a way to accept where we are as a society and build technology and build things that will um, deal with the realities of today. Because like robots are not, they're they're happening. Meta is here, but how do we build things that people want more? And do people actually want more community? Is kind of the question. So my hope is to see more people who actively want community, who actively want to participate in like sharing their lives with others.
Let's lighten up the mood a little bit. So I always do this with our guests. I'm gonna give you a rapid fire round. Ready, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Montreal or San Francisco?
Montreal.
Italian food or Portuguese food?
That's mean. Italian.
Early mornings or late night?
That's another tough one because it used to be late nights. Now it's early mornings now. Early mornings.
VR or real life sport?
Real VR sports.
Creative mode or business mode?
These are good questions, but I do both.
Yeah.
Creative mode. Creative mode.
Okay. LeBron James or Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Big risk or safe plan?
Big risk.
And if you could fix one thing about politics tomorrow, local or national, what would it be?
Ensuring the residents of the country have a voice that matters.
Okay. That wasn't so bad. You did great.
No, it was okay. I feel like I rambled a bit there, but
No, it was great. One more question to end our interview. You said something powerful. You said, don't judge people by their answers, judge them by their questions. So, what's a question that you're asking yourself lately?
what I pause sometimes is like I'm trying to find like the honest answer because it's within me somewhere. But I would say you're catching me in a very self-reflective time in my life. So I've been asking myself a lot of questions. But I think the most fundamental question is, where do I want to go this time?